Hello, this is Sachin Thakur, Assistant Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, Chandigarh Polytechnical College, Gurgaon. In this lecture, we are discussing about the 8086 microprocessor. Before going through this topic, first we know about the history of 8086 microprocessor. The 8086 microprocessor is a 16-bit microprocessor. It is the chip that was designed by Intel in 1976 and in mid 1978. After that, in 1979, the new microprocessor, that is 80888, was designed by Intel. The processor used in the original IBM PC. This processor was usually used in the IBM PC. The 8086 give rise to the 8086 architecture, Intel most powerful processor. This 8086 give rise to the most successful processor. Now, before going through this feature, we have to know that what is microprocessor. The microprocessor is a multi-purpose programmable device that accepts digital data as input, process it according to the instructions stored in its memory, and provides results as output. In simply, we can say that microprocessor is a multi-purpose programmable clock-driven register-based electronic device that reads binary instructions from the storage device called memory, accepts binary data as input, and processes data according to the instruction and provides a result as output. This is the main microprocessor. The microprocessor, mainly the word comes from the combination of micro and the processor. Processor means a device that process numbers, especially in the binary form, that is in the 0 and 1. Micro is the new addition. In the late 1960s, the processor were built using discrete elements. These devices perform the required operation were too large and too slow. Therefore, the microprocessor was born. Now, next is the features of 8086 microprocessor. The 8086 microprocessor is a 16-bit microprocessor, and in 8086 microprocessor it has 16-bit data bus, so that it can read data from or write data to memory and ports either 16-bit and 8-bit at a time. So it has a 20-bit address bus and can access up to 2 raised to power 20 memory location, that is equivalent to 1 MB. It can support up to 64K input output ports. It provides 14 6-bit registers. In 8086 microprocessor, it has 14 16-bit register. It has multiplexed address and a data bus, that is 8007 to 8015 and A16 to A19. It requires a single phase clock with 33% duty cycle to provide internal timing. And it is the main feature of 8086 is it operates in 2 modes. First is your minimum mode, and second one is your maximum mode. In minimum mode means the processor is a single processor. If we are talking about the maximum mode, it means multiple processor. You can execute multiple instructions at a time in maximum mode. But in minimum mode, it is a single processor. It can execute single instruction at a time. So this is the features of 8086 microprocessor. And in 8086 microprocessor, it requires positive 5 volt for power supply, and it is available in 40-pin dual inline package. This microprocessor is available in 40-pin dual inline package. So next is your 8086 pin diagram. So this diagram represents the 8086 pins which are arranged in the 20 pins on left side and 20 pins on the right side. Here pin 1 is down, pin 2, pin 3, 1 to 20 on left side, and 21 to 40 is in right side. we are talking about the 8086 pin diagram, and the 8086 signals are categorized into three types. This 8086 signal are categorized into three types. First is your common signals for both minimum and the maximum mode. As I told you earlier, the minimum mode means single processor mode and maximum mode means multiple processor mode. So the common signal for both minimum mode and the maximum mode. Second is your special signals which are meant only for minimum mode. Some signals are meant for minimum mode and some signals are meant for maximum mode. Okay. Now, first we are talking about the signals from second to 2 to 16. That is your AD0 to AD15. The AD0 to AD15 is your bidirectional bus. The AD0 to AD15, the address A represents address and D represents data. This is a multiplexed address oblique data bus. Okay, the address data bus lines are multiplexed with address data bus and contain the rightmost 8 bit of the memory address or the data. It contains the rightmost 8 bit of the memory address or the data. The address and the data bits are separated by using ALE signal. ALE means address / enable signal. The address or a data bus lines compose the upper multiplexed address data bus. This line contains address of A15 to A8, A8 or data bus from D15 to D8. The address and the data bits are separated by using ALE signal. That is your address / enable signal. This A represents the address and D represents the data. These both are multiplexed with each other. And if we want to separate this address or the data bus, it is separated by using ALE signal. That is your address / enable signal. Now next is your A16 to A16, A17 pin number. Pin number A16 that is pin number A16 S3, pin number 36, pin number 38, 37, 36, and pin number 35. These pins are high order address bus. These are multiplexed with status signal. Here S3, S4, S5, and S6 represents the status signals. These pins, the address or the status bus bits are multiplexed to provide address signals A19 to A16. Here this pin is from A19 to A16 and also status bits S6 to S3. The address bits are separated from the status bit using the ALE signal. As I told you earlier, ALE is your address / enable signal. The status bit S6 is always a logic 0 bit and S5 indicates the condition of interrupt flag bit. Okay, this is your address oblique data bus and this is your high order address bus. Now next is your BHE, pin number 34 and pin number 33. The main function of pin number 34 and 33 are BHE stands for bus high enable. This pin bus high enable. The bus high enable signal is used to indicate the transfer of data over the high order. The high order address, the high order bus is D15 to D8. That is your high order data bus. It goes low for data transfer over D15 to D8 and is used to derive the chip select of odd address memory bank or the peripherals. This this high order data bus and is also used to derive the chip select of odd address memory bank or the peripherals. Okay. Next is your minimum and the maximum. This is your minimum mode. This pin signal specifies indicates that in which mode the processor is to operate in. Minimum mode means a single processor mode and maximum mode means multiple processor mode. Now the next pin is ready, RD read. Next pin is pin number 32, that is your read. This read pin is active low pin. This signal is used for read operation. This pin is mainly used for read operations. It is an output signal. It is active when low. It means it is active when low. This read signal, whenever the read signal is at logic 0, the data bus receives the data from memory or the input output devices connected to the system. Logic 0 means low logic, and logic 1 means high logic. Means to say that whenever this pin is at logic 0, the data bus receives the data from memory or the input output devices connected to the system. Now the next pin is your ready pin. Next is your test and the ready, pin number 21 and the pin number 22. First of all, we are discussing about the ready pin. What is the function of this pin? This ready pin is the acknowledge from the slow devices or the memory that they have completed the data transfer operation. It only indicates that they have completed the data transfer operation. This signal is active high, and this the signal made available by the devices is synchronized by the 824A clock generator to provide ready input to the 8086 microprocessor. It means ready to, the microprocessor is ready to take signals. Okay. Now next is test pin. This the test input is tested by the wait instruction. This input is tested by the wait instruction. If the test input goes low, means it is at logic 0, it will the execution will continue. If this pin is high, the processor remains in the idle state, and this 8086 will enter a wait state after the execution of wait instruction, and will resume execution only when the test is made low by an active hardware. So this is your test pin. Before going in this pin, the input is tested by a wait instruction. Whenever the signal is come in this pin, the input is tested by the wait instruction. Now the next is your reset clock, and the that is your reset pin is your 21 number pin, and clock is your CLK. Clock is your and this clock is your 19 number pin, and this INTR. INTR means interrupt request. This is your pin number. This is your pin number 18. So first of all, we are discussing about the reset pin. The reset pin, the function of the reset pin is to reset input, which causes the microprocessor to reset itself. Means the microprocessor reset itself with the help of this pin. When 8086 reset, it starts the execution from the memory location, that is your FFF0H. From this location, the reset signal is active high and must be active for at least 4 clock cycles. Now next is your clock pin number 19. The function of the clock, that is a clock input. CLK stands for clock input. The clock input signal provides the basic timing input signal for the processor and the bus control operations. It is asymmetric square wave with 33% duty cycle. Duty cycle means how many instructions can execute per second. Next pin is your INTR. INTR stands for interrupt request. This pin, interrupt request, is used to request a hardware interrupt of INTR is held high when interrupt flag is set. This pin is high when interrupt flag is set. The 8086 enters an interrupt acknowledgement cycle after the current instruction has completed its execution. Whenever there is a current instruction, then this interrupt request acknowledgement cycle after the current instruction has completed its execution. Now the next pin is your 8086, that is a pin number 33, and pin number 33 is your minimum and the maximum mode. As I discussed earlier, in the minimum mode of operation, the microprocessor do not associate with any coprocessor and cannot be used for multiprocessor system. But in maximum mode, the 8086 can work in multiple processor or coprocessor configuration. The minimum or the maximum operations are decided by the pin. This 33 number pin, minimum and the maximum. MN stands for minimum and MX stands for maximum. When this pin is high, means at logic 1, the 8086 operates in minimum mode. Otherwise, when this pin is at logic 0, it operates in maximum mode. Now the next is your now the next signal is your NMI. NMI means non-maskable interrupt. The non-maskable interrupt input is similar to INTR, except the NMI interrupt does not check for interrupt enable flag is at logic 1. That is, NMI is not maskable internally by software. If NMI is activated, the interrupt input uses interrupt vector 2. Now this pin number 1, VCC, the pin number pin number 40, that is your VCC. This pin provides power supply for the operation of the internal circuit, and the pin number 1 and the pin number 20, that is your ground, that is for grounding for the internal circuit. Now next is your the pin number, this is your M memory input memory output, pin number 28. The pin number 28, that is your memory input output access, M/IO. The memory input output signal selects either memory operation or the input output operation. This line indicates that the microprocessor address bus contains either a memory address or the input output port address. Signal is high at this pin indicates memory operation. If at that pin, if it is at logic 1, the signal this pin indicates the memory operation. This line is logically equivalent to S2 in the maximum mode. Now next pin is your pin number 24, that is your INTA, that is your interrupt acknowledge. The interrupt acknowledge, in this pin, the interrupt acknowledge signal is a response to the INTR input signal. INTR means interrupt request signal. The interrupt acknowledge signal is normally used to gate the interrupt vector number onto the data bus in the response to an interrupt request. This is your interrupt acknowledge. Now next pin is your ALE, pin number 25. The ALE stands for address latch enable. This pin separates the address and the data bus. As I discussed, as I told you earlier, the address and data bus are multiplex. If we want to separate address or the data bus, we can separate this address or data bus by using ALE signal. This is address latch enable. This is the output signal indicates the availability of valid address on the address or the data bus. This output signal indicates the availability of valid address and is connected to the latch enable input of latches. So this is the function of the ALE pin. Now the pin number 27, that is your DT/R, data transmit / receive. The function of this pin, the DT stands for data transmit and R stands for receive. This output signal is used to decide the direction of data flow through the bidirectional buffer, that is a bidirectional bus. If DT/R is equal to 1, means it is at logic 1. It means it indicates transmitting of data. If this pin is at 0, at logic 0. If dt oblique r is equal to 0, that is at logic 0, it indicates the receiving the data. Now the next pin is your DEN, pin number 26, that is your data enable. The function of this pin is to enable the signal, indicates the availability of valid data over the address oblique data lines. This enables the availability of valid data, that is, there is the valid data on the address oblique the address and the data line. Now the next pin is your pin number 29, that is your WR. WR means write control signal. WR stands for write. Whenever the write signal is at logic 0, the data bus transmits the data to the memory or the input output devices connected to the system. When this pin is at logic 0, the data bus transmits the data to the memory or the input output devices connected to the system. Now next is your pin number 31. Pin number 31 is your hold. The in this pin, the hold input request a directly memory access. In this pin, the hold input request a directly memory access, that is your DMA. DMA is the direct memory access. If the hold signal is at logic 1, it means the microprocessor stops its normal execution and place its address, data, and the control bus at high impedance state. Now, next pin is pin number 30, HLDA. HLDA stands for hold acknowledge. The function of this pin is to indicate that 8086 has entered into the hold state. Means the 8086 microprocessor enters into the hold state. This acknowledge is asserted high when the processor accepts hold signal. Now the next is your pin number 28 to 26. This pin represents the status signal. This status signal is used by the 8086 bus controller to generate bus timing and the control signal. These signals are the status signal, and 8086 microprocessor generates bus timings and the control signal. These are decided by as shown. This is your status signal S2, S1, S0. If this is if the signal on S2, S1, and S0 is at logic 0, it means there is the interrupt acknowledge. If the S2 and the S1 is at logic 0 and the S0 pin is at logic 1, it means it read input oblique output port. If this pin S2 is at logic 0 and S1 is at logic 1 and S0 is at logic 0, it means write input output port. If this pin S2 is at logic 0 and pin S1 and S0 is at logic 1, it means the machine cycle is in halt state. Now if the pin is at logic 1, this S2 pin is at logic 1 and this pin S1 is at logic 0 and this pin S0 is also at logic 0, it means the machine cycle access the code. If the pin is at if S2 pin is at logic 1 and S1 is at logic 0 and S0 is at logic 1, it means this machine cycle read memory. Machine cycle means how many instructions execute in 1 second. If the pin S1 and the S2 is at logic 1 and pin S0 is at logic 0, it means the machine cycle write memory. If the pin S2, S1 and S0 is at logic 1, it means the machine cycle is passive or the inactive. So this is the main function of these pins. These are the status lines. These are the status lines that reflect the type of operation being carried out by the processor. Or we are just discussing about the status signal at how many times the processor execute the cycle if the there is a difference, if there is if there is the different signals available at this pins. Now the next is your now the next is your pin number 25 and the 24. That is your Q status pin, QS0 and QS1. The processor provides the status of Q in these lines. This is your Q status. The Q status bit shows the status of internal instruction queue. That means how the instructions are queued in the processor. The encoding of this signal is given as follows. If if there is a QS in QS1, if Q status is at 0 and both are at logic 0, that means there is no operation. In Q there is no instruction. If QS1 is at logic 0 and QS0 is at logic 1, it means first byte of an opcode from Q. Opcode means operation code. If QS1 is at logic 1 and QS0 is at logic 0, it means Q is your empty. If both the pins are at logic 1, it means substitute byte from the Q. So this is the operation of pin number 25 and the pin number 24. Now pin number 31, that is your RGQT0, QGT0. The full form of this RQ means bus request and bus grant. This RQGT0 and RQGT1. This means the request bus / bus grant. The function of this pin is to the request / grant pins are used by the other local bus master to force the processor to release the local bus at the end of the processor current bus cycle. These lines are the bidirectional, means the data can flow in both the directions, and are used to both request and grants a DMA operation. DMA means direct memory access operation. This pin RQ/GT0 is having higher priority than RQGT1. So this pin number this pin number 31 has highest priority than the pin number 30. Now the next is this is all about our pin signals of 8086 microprocessor. Thank you.